What's going on, world? Is your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This is the M+M+M show, aka the
Okay.
show. God, that sounds so good. Bringing to you live in the flesh one of the highest ranking internet god soldiers that exist. Even the dog knows it. This man has made his name doing very, very fine work. And I'm not talking about trolling. I'm not talking about taking a piss. I'm not talking about being like foul. I'm talking about doing really, really fly things that we're going to get into right now. Homeboy, could you please state your name so people know that I'm not lying?
Absolutely. Hey, this is Donish, also known as that Donish guy across social media.
Dude, if
And
you
now
guys...
I know I was pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was going to slide past that part, but fuck it. Bro, I've been waiting. We haven't had a show up in quite some time. Like we've been like really backlogged, and this is one of the interviews that I've been waiting to get to. You, for those of you who don't know, I don't even know if I should say it. I almost feel like I'm letting the cat out the bag. Like, can you tell people how you blew up? I think you should say it. I think it should come from you.
Well, I mean, what I'm known for is finding people. People will put up viral videos, and I'll figure out who the person in the video is. And I happen to be pretty good at it, which is why I blew up. I see something out there, I see other people looking for it, and I go, well, I wonder how hard this could be. And then I'm the first one to find them. And so that people have just been following me to see more of that. Mostly not because it's just like, try to find out who it is just for curiosity's sake. There's people like who will escape accountability. People who do horrible things, maybe assault somebody or something, he gets caught on camera and they get away with it. Police have no leads. I'll get involved. I'll find out who they are, and we'll see consequences. We'll see people get arrested. Sometimes we'll see. It's real life.
It's really beautiful. It's like,
yeah.
It's really beautiful. It's the best
Thank
thing
you.
ever.
Some of my friends call me finds it, but it's more like figures out what movie was what year that we're trying to think of. So it's definitely different, and kudos to you for finding important things.
He finds.
I have friends.
Go. No, you go.
I got friends that got these weird talents that like I could never like fathom. People who'd be able to listen to any animated show and immediately know every single actor, even if they don't know the actor's name. They go, "Oh, he was in this, he was in that." And I go, they all sound the same to me. How do you do this? So we all have our talents,
Okay, I feel funny because I do that. I do that. Like Bob's Burgers, Futurama, Freaking Dad. Like I know when I hear the voice. Oh,
so we know.
Also,
we know how people are spending their time. In other words.
And he just happens to have a much better usage of his time than I do. He's being super modest, but the reason why I started following him in the first place is because one of the main kinds of people he tracks down are like racist bullies and Karens. And he will is this you, such and such? And next thing you know, he'll have their whole resume, where they live, where they work. And you can't hide. Like the days of the whole thing that empowered people over the internet was being able to do horrible shit to other people and be anonymous, being able to do racist shit to other people and be completely anonymous, slide right back into just complete obscurity. No one knows who you are. And people like him are making so you can't do that anymore. If he sees your face and he's using his powers for good, it's like the best TV show ever. I don't know how anybody doesn't watch this all the time. I tune into I go to his Instagram channel with popcorn. It's popcorn and water all the I wonder what's going to happen on this episode. Oh shit, turn it up. I was waiting for this. This is the cliffhanger.
I was going to say, and there's also no way to make that an actual show, because the problem with any sort of reality show is that everyone needs consent and all this other stuff. And what you're doing is specifically, it is public domain, public knowledge, right? It's completely legal what you're doing. And the people don't want to be found. They don't want to be on your show.
Well, I can tell you, and I have to give a very limited response, but from producers that I've spoken to, there is a way to do it.
Okay.
Oh, shit. All right.
Well, it's like Catfish and those type of things, and those cheaters shows.
Exactly like that.
Okay.
Are you?
I wouldn't want to be on cheaters.
Are you thinking about going in that direction?
That's not up to me. I'm always interested, but like if that offer comes up, absolutely.
I would produce the crap out of that show. I produce the crap out of this show. I might do that for free. Like if I could just be there when it happens, I might do that for free. Like I just need a Gatorade and like a snack, and
will work for entertainment.
Dude, because I would think of it as me doing my good deed for the day. Like it almost, the people he exposes, and I'm not even exaggerating. These are some truly like disgusting
heinous
people.
Yeah,
like they're really reprehensible. The things they say, the things they do.
Yep.
They need to be told on.
I recently, like last night, I think it was last night, maybe the night before. Anyway, I saw, a friend of mine's page, or not even a friend. I don't even think I might have met her before, but point is, sometimes you think they're your friends because you follow them for so long.
Oh,
but Lord. She posted, why am I single? She's like, because I'm never looking. And there's, she's walking, and there's this guy walks behind, and to me, because of my circle and my world, I was like, oh, Annie's cute, but true, you're never looking. Cool. The comments were like, but he's black, but you're a pretty white girl. Why would you even look? It was like comment after comment after comment of, maybe that's normal on her page and I'm unaware, but it was like horrible. And people are blatantly just that way online. And, I put some of the profiles, and they're either private or they have a bird as the avatar. I'm like, oh, yep. Either people bots or just hiding behind anonymity.
Yeah, people are way too comfortable to speak their mind, like things that they would never say in public, things that they'd filter out. They go on a burner account and say those things and then go, well, what happened to freedom of speech? I'm like, okay, then say it with your face. I mean, like, where's my freedom of speech to tell your boss that you said that? Like, I still have freedom of speech too, right?
So how do you find them? I'm so curious. There's several questions like burbling in my head. First of all, like what is
but
there,
don't give away your trade secrets.
No,
I don't want anybody to be able to get away from you. Like I don't want
it, But is it?
The thing is, and let me start with this. Even if you had every tool that I have, which the tools that I have are extremely limited to my phone and social medias, because I don't have access to like police information that only police have. I don't have access to
face recognition software or something. Do you have some of that?
Yeah, but they're not very reliable. The public has access to that, but it's not very reliable. So a lot of it is just like going off of little hints in the videos, looking in the background, trying to like pick up any sort of clue you can. The first thing you want to do is find their social media. You find their Facebook, they literally give you everything. After that, you could find a funny story about them. You could find, anything at all. You just need to get to the Facebook.
Their kids,
that's a golden ticket. And I've been very open about that. People will say, like, what program do you use with this? Are you a hacker? No, Facebook. We all, if you're a millennial or older, we all got introduced to Facebook early on and gave it way too much information, and there's no taking it back. It's out there. And even if you delete your Facebook, somebody's got you tagged in something where your name will be unclickable, but your name's there. And I've had that happen a couple of times. People don't have Facebooks. Especially people like who raided the Capitol. They'll delete their Facebook, they'll delete a lot of things. It's really hard to track them down. But then there's always a friend. There's always a family member who had to tag him in something. So
am I correct that one of the justices' wives was in January?
Clarence Thomas, wasn't it?
I heard that. I heard that was true. I never looked into it, but I did hear that.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about earlier too, about how like you'll go through the comment section, it's all just racist comment. The thing is like my inbox on Instagram, it's so like I have so many unread messages that I can't possibly get to. I have my request box and then like a spam folder, which is it spams out things that are pretty important. Like today, a reporter wanted to reach out to me about a story that I did, and she was in my spam folder. So I just had to go through so much stuff because every time there is one racist comment, someone will send that to me right away. And like the thing is like while it's reprehensible to make those racist comments, there's not, if I were to look into every single racist comment that was left online, 90% of them would be children, that I can't do anything about. And then the rest of them would, you're looking through finding somebody with a job to hold them accountable. It's kind of like it's not the great use of my time. In a situation like that, I would say the person who allows their comment section to be like that is, that's someone who could hold responsibility, because clearly they're playing to that audience. They're doing nothing to filter that out. So
right. I actually commented, because I commented under the person, under the worst one. And 3 things that I wrote, Instagram said, comments like this are being deleted, and it deleted mine immediately. I said, "You miserable fuck," because he said a dark face and a puke thing, and I said, "Choke on your own puke," and those type of things. And I was like, "You're horrible." And then I was like, "It's not even me," and I was like, "That's very racist, like something not cool," and that one was left up. But I was like, Instagram is filtering out my comments but not his, and I was like, so that's why I just commented to Instagram. I was like, you're kind of missing some of the worst ones, bro.
Yeah, social media in general, like every single platform, they have that problem where they try to automate everything because they can't keep up with everything, and then they end up just like filtering out the wrong person, not knowing what side someone is on specifically. So like, early on, that's why I know TikTok in America, they're almost completely automated, the reporting system. So so the way that it is set up, human eyes don't even look at it, which is very frustrating, because there'll be people who, if you have a smaller account, whatever you post, it's questionable, it'll come down. But if I repost it, it'll stay up. And it's harder to get something that I repost taken down. And I think that's where like it goes through human eyes or something. I think they set a different set of rules just because of how hard it is to manage that, but also because I don't think they want to pay employees. But
I think that's the main reason. I think that's the main reason why everything is heavily automated.
Absolutely, it's absolutely money. But but that's the problem, is that you get a lot of people on the wrong side getting punished, and it's unfair.
Well, and then there's some people. We had Talib Kweli on our show, and he's like, he spends a lot of energy going back and forth with bigots and racists, and I can't even imagine being Instagram and trying to, or Twitter or whatever, trying to moderate that.
Yeah,
like hire people. You make enough money. No, hire people. You make enough money.
No, what I'm saying is like is actual like morality. At some point, somebody says a comment, they get accused of this, and then the vitriol goes back and forth to the point that it's like, if I was in school, I would both kids be sent to the corner, because we just separate, because this is not going anywhere. You can't fix it. Like
I've never been that. If I'm that teacher, somebody's getting punished. Who started it? One of you is clearly in the wrong. Like
the instigator, right?
I'm all for. See, in my older life, I would have told you I was for premeditated retaliation. In other words, I know what you're about to do, so I'm going to punch you in the face first. Premeditated retaliation. But now in my
Minority Report.
basically. But now in my grown age, with all these things happening, I understand the concept of fair and balanced retaliation. In other words, no, you said what you said, and there are consequences to what you said. Now, it just so happens that D, and I'm calling him D as if I've known him for like 20 years, and we've been listening to hip hop in the same places for all this time. Like he's just a new cousin. Like I'm not even playing this game. He's a cousin. The way D does it is, you said it. Now, whatever comes to you after you say this thing is 100% on you. If people want to gather outside of your house because you're harassing some Mexican dude who's selling fruits and vegetables on the side of the road and threaten him with WD-40. Now we're coming to your house and we're gonna eat chimichangas. No, we're gonna eat chimichangas. We're gonna dance around a hat. Like we're gonna have like we're gonna party outside of your crib because you had this coming. You did it. You started it. No one told you to go over there and bother that man. I'm not sending both kids to the corner. You're in trouble. So when I see comments like that and your homegirl is sitting there saying, I don't look, and she's not insinuating anything, and here comes the racist guy. No. You got to get it. The guy who decided that, well, why would you? You're black. Nope, right there, boom. Because you wouldn't have said that to that black guy's face.
Right. So and you came on this page that was not even about that.
Right. And you started this. Now this is happening to you, and I have no issue. I live for the moments when karma. I love to see the good guys win, and I love to see the bullies get punished. I love that.
Me too. I mean, that's
what kind of repercussions have you seen?
Well, let me first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me first start off by saying, like, for people in people of color, for women as well, there's been so much of like shitty people doing shitty things and never being held accountable, and then the victim is somehow like, whether it's through like public shaming or just through legal system, whatever, the victim ends up getting the shit end of the stick, getting abused in whatever way it might be. And for me, like personally, my personal politics, the past 4 years, it's not 4 years now, but the last guy that was president, we saw so much of just like no accountability. He'll do whatever the hell he wants, and then that trickled down too. Anybody work for him, they do whatever the hell they want, and then they keep telling you, well, this is illegal, but no one gets in trouble for it, and it's defeating, and it makes you feel powerless. And in situations where a lot of the times that I'm doing these videos, it is recorded by a person of color, and it's because they need something, they need help somehow, and they know if they stand up for themselves, they're the ones that are going to get in trouble, or they'll punish both of them. If they say something, then they're going to say, where's this anger coming from? Well, this is from generations of this shit happening, but like right now, you're not going to understand that because you're going to think it's like cause and effect. But I wanted to give people an option to be able to take something out of their pocket and just record their experience and have justice come and have accountability come the right way, so that people feel more safe. And right now you see whether it's cops or racists or whatever, literally get intimidated when they see the cell phone. Like they know what's going to happen now. And that is a very important thing I wanted to instill into to be part of our culture, not canceling people, accountability. That you can't act like a shithead and think no one's watching. This phone has the power to put you in front of countless people. So, go ahead. Sorry, I was just what you guys were saying. I wanted to build on that, but you were asking me a question about what kind of repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen people get like arrested, but also, I mean, on one level, I'm like, I want to see how successful it is, and also on another one, it's like, can it go wrong? Can it, I mean, not wrong. I'm all for accountability and even karma, but like, people can be herd pack animals and vicious, even with righteousness can turn vicious. So I'm just curious how it goes. Like, what kind of consequences do people get for being found?
Yeah, that's a great question. And a lot of the times we will see like an initial arrest. We're always waiting for that mugshot picture. But then what ends up happening, if they're first-time offender, which has been what we've been mostly dealing with, they usually get off probation, maybe a fine, a couple of days, in their couple of their days of their week being inconvenienced. But ultimately, there's no consequences until they get fired for it, or they get socially, their friends don't want to associate with them anymore. Those are the consequences that the law won't give you. I mean, they can't give you. This is just society reacting to it. And this wouldn't be effective if we all, like, the majority of us didn't agree that this is good. Like, if we didn't agree, this wouldn't be effective at all. It's effective because we all want accountability. We don't want the law to just apply to some people, or like decency to just apply to people who, who are not privileged enough to be able to, do whatever the hell they want without getting in trouble, or be able to afford to get out of it. So, like with Jim Ionazo, this guy who chucked a smoothie at a girl and at a teenager in a smoothie store. It was in his state, because it was his first time offense, basically gets off with probation. So we made sure he got fired, ridiculed by all of his friends, family, but also now the victim is suing that guy as well. So there are things that, like, you gotta do more. And if that victim wanted money to raise for that legal battle, I would help her, because I want to see actual consequences. There's one that it just came to mind that I think got a little more severe consequence. Was it Petrio? No.
You must have so
I
many
can't remember.
names rolling around in your head.
Yeah, well,
It's
yeah.
got to be crazy.
But there are hundreds. There are more. There are a lot more. But the only out of all of them, only 2 apologized. One of them went back on their apology.
Which
in other
story?
words, it's
Who went
bad
back on
people
the
doing bad.
apology?
It was so there was this one where this girl walked into a restaurant in Chicago and was calling everyone working there Nazis because they have a mask policy
The
because they
mask
were
mandate.
required to. Yeah. So she did a live with her friend, making racist comments towards me about me because I made a video about her, and I noticed that friend of hers had all private profiles on everything, and was it was just racist, to anyone because she could get away with it. So I said, "Here's who you are. Here's who's behind all these accounts." It's crazy when people target me because I'm just like, what? Okay,
Wrong guy.
Okay, well now everyone's gonna know who said it. Yeah, so she reached out, she apologized for the comment. She said the usual, I didn't think it was offensive. I thought you were Indian. Oh no, she said something else. She called me a terrorist. She said I was angry at I don't remember. It was a bullshit apology, but I just kind of wanted it to be over. So I just said, okay, thank you for apologizing. Which that's usually what I say. I don't forgive. I say thank you because they should. I don't even know why I say thank you. It's the expectation that you're not racist.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why you're thanking them either.
Right. But so like
well, a little positivity for what they should be.
They should have already been doing this.
Crystal, you're way too nice.
No, what I'm saying is shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm saying I've made mistakes, not racist mistakes, but what I'm saying is if the goal is to make racist people less racist on any level, which is unlikely because if you're racist, it's deep. But
I mean, it's their responsibility, not mine. So I mean,
right.
But anyway, so I didn't accept her apology, but I just kind of left it at okay. I acknowledge your apology, thank you. And then someone sent me something saying, showing me that she was leaving like another racist comment about me, like literally an hour later, minutes later. It's like fuck this, and I put her on blast again. And then that video ended up getting like 3 million views or something. So
yeah.
So
F your apology, Biatch.
Having the internet kind of like coming at your social medias like that, it's a horrible feeling. I've had it happen to me on more than one occasion. It's a horrible feeling. I know the feeling, and it's frustrating when there is no real consequence for something. But I would never ever encourage anyone to actually do any sort of physical violence or anything like that. And I've always said, like, if anyone is coming at you as a result of my video, anyone's coming at you and they start making threats like this, I don't care that I just did a video on you. Send me the threat. I'll find out who they are. I wouldn't tolerate my own followers doing that.
Okay.
Someone
Good.
said that to me.
I'm actually happy to hear that.
Yeah, someone said that to me once. They said, I'm getting threats because of your video. I said, send me the username. I'll find out who it is. We'll hold them accountable. I'll do it for you. And they never provided, they never showed up. They could never provide me that screenshot of the threat.
Because you probably have it coming. Like listen, it's really rough for me. I understand where everybody's coming from. Also, I totally get it, but it's really, really hard for me. It's hard for me to empathize with self-inflicted issues, with things that you did to yourself. And I think there's a difference, a very sharp distinction between a racist mistake and a racist decision. I think you can say things by mistake that you didn't believe or didn't know were racist. Honest to God, I believe that. And I especially know that of the older generations because you can age yourself out. Certain terms they age poorly. Certain things that you used to say, it's not the same thing. And you don't have to mean it like that. So I'm all about intentions. But 9 times out of 10, these are not racist mistakes. These are racist decisions. You made it. You made a choice. And not only did you make a choice, you leaned into that motherfucker. Like you went hard in the paint more than. And when that happens, and I'm telling you this as someone who still needs to work on himself. Just gonna throw that out there real quick. I still need work. But
we all do.
Yeah, but make no mistake, my switch, the kill switch in my head always goes off when I realize that this person is only doing whatever it is they're doing to me because they think I won't do anything else to them, or they think nothing else will happen. You're only bullying me because you think, pardon the French, that I'm a pussy, that I won't do anything. And when that happens, the switch flips in my head, and I feel whatever I do to you after this is 100% justified. You totally asked for this. You only did it because you think I wouldn't do anything, which means you deserve everything that comes. And that's where my head goes. So when I see him doing what he's doing and people start copping pleas after the fact, no, you're not sorry because you didn't come forward before he said something. You didn't try to make amends before he said something. Before a video came out on you and he was pointing at your face up in the corner going, hey, is this you? You were not going to say anything. You were just going to, and you probably would have done it again. And you probably
not sorry,
did do it again.
You got caught.
Yeah, exactly. So
Most
like
people.
for me, whenever I hear that dude.
What is accountability though? I mean, what if somebody were to come forward and seem genuine or seem, what's it called? Like, embarrassed and wants to do better. Like,
I've had that. His name
and is
Don.
that the goal? I mean, sometimes it's the goal to embarrass them because F you deserve it, but also like
the one apology that didn't go back on it. That's what we didn't talk about is that we had an apology that didn't go back. His name was Dominic. Got him on camera. He was on camera at a bar. He's a white guy. He was telling another white guy that black people are inferior to white people. And this guy got mad and he started filming him. He said, say that shit again. And he looked right into that camera and he said it again. And he said, well, fuck you, I'm putting this online. And he just didn't seem to care. He was drunk. I'm just describing the scenario. I'm not giving an excuse.
No, just context.
Yeah, just context, nothing else. And so anyway, I found out who he is. I said, it's clear you're drinking, doesn't matter. And I pulled up like a ridiculous picture I found of him from this like weird party he went to where he was dressed as a lobster. So I'll just call him like Lobster Boy from there on out. Anyway, the point is after my video came out, I just tweeted something that said, you're not, because he was deleting all social medias. I said, you're not going to be able to hide from this. There is going to be, you have to face this. You should apologize. And then there was a comment left for me by a profile that just said Dominic and a bunch of numbers. And he said, you're right. Can we talk? And so I DM'd him and I said, prove it to you. Because, it's a blank profile. And so he sent me a picture. Then I asked him to do a specific thing in the picture to make sure it's him. And I said, okay, so what is your reaction to this? And he's like, you're right. And I want to be held accountable. And I want to, he was saying all the right things. Like, I want to apologize, not that I deserve forgiveness, but because it is right that people know that I know I'm wrong. He was saying like, I'm only interested in getting to work and, anti-racist work and all that. Like, dude was like, it's time to make up for this. And I told him, look, you could come on my channel. You could we could have this conversation and I will ask you questions. You could answer it however you want. And I will tell you right now, though, there are going to be people who do not forgive you. And they are right to not forgive you. And you take that. That's part of it. You take it. Right. And he said, I agree with you. I'm not looking for, I'm not going to ask someone for forgiveness. That's not fair to them. I'm going to just make sure they know. So he was saying everything right. He came on my channel. I asked him the question. I said, what do you think about the fact that there are people that do not accept this apology? He said the reason they don't accept it is because there's been a lot of white guys before who will say whatever the fuck they want, then apologize and basically get away with it with no consequence at all. And then do it again sometime later. I said, that's absolutely right. And he said, so I'm focused on changing my life, putting in the work, and keep people from making these mistakes. Like, literally said everything correctly. And that video is still on my page. I believe on Instagram, you just look at go through the highlights. It's a lobster icon. He was the only person willing to do that. And I told him then too, I was like, I don't necessarily believe you. Like, great that you did all. I don't necessarily believe you, but we'll check in with you. And every now and then, like, I'll say, hey, how's everything going? He's like, it's good. I live a different life. And I'm like, all right, cool. So, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have
Right.
to, and then like
The
pushing
hardest thing
back.
is actually admitting, is
Yeah,
literally like genuinely admitting that you did something wrong. Most people want to be the victim on some level.
they're
It's easier.
always,
Like children,
always.
we learn that, but we learn that
Every
if you're
single
in
one of them
trouble,
are victims suddenly.
yeah,
After
but we learn that as kids. If you get caught doing something, you cry. Like literally, once you become the victim, people feel sorry for you. We learn that as kids, and no one wants to be accountable.
Except
Since
for in my
children,
house.
that's just the thing though
nobody
too.
wants to be.
Well, yeah, that's the
It's
thing too.
hard because it's hard.
It's this
It's
lack of
hard to be
understanding
accountable.
of actual like discipline or acknowledgement of mistakes. People will, people will be lazy about their parenting, and may abuse their child, right?
Mm.
And then the kid grows up fearing accountability, afraid of what happens if I admit that I've done something wrong. They
Right.
never
Mm.
learned how to take accountability, how to accept, how to apologize, how to make it right with the people you hurt, to even care about
Mhm.
that. No,
Mhm.
the next thing is I'm in danger, and then they
Right.
become a victim.
That's crazy. I'm
Mm.
actually curious. So your upbringing, what made you into this guy that has this perspective? What is your background, by the way? Because you
So
said the guy.
I was a comedian for a very long
Okay.
time. I did comedy, and
I can
up all the way
totally
up.
see that. Not even to cut you off, I can 100% see that in the timing of when you're talking.
Yeah,
I can totally see the comedic timing of every
thank you.
the fact that you laugh through most
The
of
storytelling,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's go ahead, Dad.
It's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I enjoy. I've always, even when I did stand up, like I enjoy. If I enjoy what I'm saying, I'll allow myself to laugh. I know there's comedians who go like, "Don't laugh at your own joke. That looks stupid." I go, "No, we're having a good time. I'm not a
No, it
fucking
doesn't.
robot."
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and then that's the comment that I get a lot is people like, I love it when you laugh," and I'm like, "Cause it's real. Like you have a real interaction with someone." Anyway, I always learn to do comedy as if you're speaking to someone you know, like you're telling someone you know something about it. And so I just really got to be like, I hype myself by going like, all right, you got to hear the story. All right, wait till you hear what just happened to me just now. And I go, this guy from bumfuck Florida, and you know what else I channel a lot? This is a show I really liked. Maybe this is an inspiration. You ever watch World's Wildest Police Chases or something like that, where
Yes.
it's just like they do crazy. You always have that guy in the beginning who goes, Chicago, Illinois. This guy thought he could get away with robbery, but he's about to find out that crime doesn't pay. And so that's like, I think that's like in my subconscious because like
This
I always
guy,
start
right?
the name, the city, state. Let's go. Let's do this.
That's great. But also, okay, so the comedy background, but I'm also
Oh,
curious what made you like your family background, like the way that you were raised to make you into
oh,
this somewhat
I don't know.
social warrior almost.
I don't know. I don't know because when I was doing comedy, I didn't care about any of this stuff. I didn't care. I was a different person back when what was it like 10 years ago, whatever. I was a kid, and I didn't. It's not as important to me. I didn't know the magnitude of any of this happening or how it affected people. I grew up in Orange County in Los Angeles as well, but in neighborhoods where I was the only person of color. In fact, I was the darkest person you'd see, and I'm not very dark. Uh, but I always felt like just kind of like an outsider, and always felt like kind of worried in my own community because I was the one that stuck out.
Mhm.
And so for me it was just like a lot of survival. Like people would, if someone's making a racist comment at me, I wouldn't fight back. I would just be like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's
Mhm.
just a joke. And they end up what? Like they feel like it's okay because now a brown person told them it's all right to make fun of those people. But for me, it's just safety. Getting through like high school and shit,
Mhm.
and them saying, "Oh, you're one of the good ones," or whatever it might be.
Mm.
But anyway, it bottles up though, and it's frustrating. And I think it was like I said during that last presidency where everything was just so amplified, and I saw the magnitude of like how many people there are across the country who are being hurt, who don't get accountability for it, don't get justice. Um, there was the Muslim ban at first where we found out, oh, so my family members aren't going to be able to come visit for my child being born because of this stupid ban. for no reason. And then, you know, seeing how many people that affected outside of just myself, and then everything else that had happened after that as well, whether we're talking about Charlottesville or, you know, raiding the Capitol or whatever, just all these insane things have just been happening. People not being held accountable, and for me, the problem that I was seeing is that the world is like, it's a pretty scary place, and the more you watch my videos, I don't want people to feel this way, but you start to see a lot of the ugliness that's out there. And I think it's important to see that, because some of us see it. Like, I see discrimination towards my people all the time. You may not see it as much because it's not your POV, right? You're not there.
Right.
It's important. You see, and the same thing, it's important for me to see the struggles of other people in the BIPOC community, of women, of LGBTQIA. It's important for me to see it as well. It's important for everyone to see it, because otherwise people will say, and you'll see this on my videos sometimes too, because people will comment and say, "Oh, that's fake, stage," because they don't believe it's that bad.
They can't fathom. They can't fathom that this is reality.
Because that would actually mess up their view of this beautiful ass country that they live so happily in, because it would mess with their perspective of.
Absolutely. And so what motivates me most is that, you know, when my son was born, I was like, you know, I want to make
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I was like, I want to make sure that I'm, you know, adding a healthy person into this world, a healthy, not just healthy,
perspective?
a progressive person who's going to accept all people, who's not going to be racist, not going to be sexist, who's not going to, you know, hurt anybody else, not be a bully. I want to give the world a great person, and that is a way I want to contribute. And when he was born, this was back in 2016, 2015. On the news, on the TV, in the labor and delivery, it was there was Trump was on screen, and he was saying the words, and this is exactly when he said it. He said that when he couldn't have, they accused him of raping someone, and he said, "I couldn't have looked at her," implying that she was too ugly to have raped or something. And I remember just like looking at that and going like, this guy could be president. And at that moment, then that's when it all kind of changed for me, where I was like, I need to push back, because I could give the world the best kid I could possibly give, but this world is not fucking good enough for him. If I'm adding someone good to this world, I want to make sure the world is also good enough. So it's kind of like my motivation as a father is that these injustices are out there. I have the ability to be able to do something about it. And so I think that it's important that I do the right thing to do. I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
I always say that. I said the type of people that want power aren't the people that should be in power, and the good people, oftentimes by virtue of being good, aren't power hungry on some level, right? So, and not that you're power hungry, but that you feel a responsibility. There's very few good people that I know that want to spend their life struggling. I mean, like AOC, I love her, first of all, but she's young and pretty, and she was a waitress at some point, and she changed her life to make a change in a direction that she believes in. It's just rare that people of this day and age really want to dedicate their lives to that.
But
so anyway, kudos. Kudos.
I mean, thank you. No, it's important. Like I said, I got my kids. I want to make sure that they don't have to face some of the things that I did. Look, high school and on, I was 14 when 9/11 happened, and I was in high school. And again,
me too. I think we're the same age.
Oh yeah.
I was in 7th grade.
I remember being really uncomfortable, and I remember people being openly racist. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It was totally fine to be racist towards people that look like me or from the same part of the world as me. And then, you know, at the airport, you get randomly screened every single time. And at first it was annoying as hell. And at this point, I've gotten so used to it that when it doesn't happen, I actually just like feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Random screenings that always happen.
Always happen.
Yeah, so random.
Random.
I was touring with my comedy group at the time, and this was a little bit after. I was touring with my comedy group, and they, you know, it was all white guys on that group, but they were amazed at how every single time, whenever we fly anywhere, I was the one always randomly searched. And to me, I had this moment where I was like, oh yeah, this isn't normal. I forgot. I forgot that this is weird to people because this isn't a normal thing that I do. That they put me, put me through.
They
every time
put
I
you
go
through. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What kind of repercussions do you face? I'm sure all these or have they learned their lesson? Have you gotten racist to the point where they know not to try you? Like, do they even step to
A
you
lot
at
of them.
all?
There's a lot of them have me. A lot of people. So I'll get sent videos all the time, and like someone doing something horrible, and most of the time that person already has me blocked. And I go, okay, well, now I'm really curious.
Yeah, game on.
Yeah. So going into it, there are people who have me blocked, people who are keep track of my, if does he have another account? If he does, here it is. Block it. Make sure you block it. People who just don't want to be on my radar. But that's mostly because there's a lot of people who think that I'm wrong, not the racism. That I'm wrong for what I do because it could possibly put someone in danger. And one thing that I try to make very clear to them is your racism puts people
in danger all the time.
That's what's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, because
you're actively putting people in physical and emotional and mental anguish in danger all the time by your words.
Yeah, but like it's not, and they'll a lot of times they'll say too, well, it's just words, and I go, no, you're dehumanizing someone, and when you dehumanize someone, you allow for physical abuse as well. I mean, that's what I don't think they understand. It's not just it hurt my feelings. You're dehumanizing people. That's what's not okay.
Mm-hmm. We were taught that stupid nursery rhyme: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me."
Yeah, well,
and
not true. It's not true. You could make jokes. It'll just be jokes about. Donish is probably a terrorist, and you made jokes about it, and you could all laugh. But when there's like a bomb that blows up in town, and people are all pointing the finger at me because they've joked about it so long, they created a stigma now, and they go, "It's probably Donish." Or if I'm like in a situation or running out of a movie theater that just got bombed, they'll go, "It's probably that guy." And then like at a certain point, like you've conditioned yourself with these jokes. And and I'm all for. I did comedy. I'm all for dark humor. That's not dark humor.
But most of these people aren't. Most of the situations that we're dealing with, these people aren't joking. When Trump said what he said about Mexicans, and now has an entire country on tilt, leaning into Mexicans left, right, and center about everything under the sun, from them selling food to working at a 7-Eleven to a dirty Mexican and all this other stuff. Like that's not. He wasn't saying that as a joke, and these people are dealing with the consequences of a man in power, a man in authority, who is what's the word I'm looking for? He's literally green lighting this kind of treatment.
They put a battery in everybody's back.
To these, it's not just charging them up to go do it. It's not just saying, "Hey, I think you should. It's no, it's okay to do this. Like I'm leveling, I'm taking all the blocks, and now it's okay to treat Mexican people like this specifically, no matter where they are, or what they're doing, or rapists, murderers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now all of a sudden it's get out of my country. And then there's always going to be somebody to take it. Like he said, when you allow for the verbal, you clear the way for the physical. Now it's okay to get physical with these people who are working, building, raising their kids in the park. Dirty Mexican, get out of my country. Like,
and I was going to say, but we've go ahead. No, I was gonna say we've gone back and forth several times on this though. Like when Trump came in and we said he emboldened people and he made people feel like it's okay to do this. I think Mech made a comment, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, but said I said it used to be everyone knew to hide their racism because socially it was you don't say certain words, you don't do certain things, and then he emboldened people, and certain people have said, well, I'd rather know who the racists are. Okay, I kind of want to know if your perspective is skewed, if you're not, but the fact that you're not just showing it, you're making it dangerous for people, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Would we rather the racists go back in the closet and hide their racist perspective?
No, not me. Not me.
Right, but we know now, but they're going too far.
There's two things to look at there, and I don't think that they're necessarily like I don't think it's one or the other. Like the racists should be exposed, but also they should be afraid. I think both those things could exist at once. But I think that what you were saying is true too, where they're just not afraid because there's no real consequence. And I could say that when I grew up in a mostly white community, if someone did say something racist to me, no one cared. No one gives a shit. So like over coming from a community like that, a wealthy white community, one may grow up thinking that there are no race issues, and that anyone who has a problem with it is taking it too seriously. It's not that big of a
Because
deal.
my
Why are
brown
you so
friend that I
sensitive?
grew up with, when I said stuff like that in front of
He
him,
seems cool
he
about it.
never
Right.
said anything. He was
Never
fine.
said a
He
thing.
laughed with everybody else. So now you inadvertently, not knowing, not being aware, but you inadvertently just trying to keep your head on your shoulders and trying to be safe, have become the black friend
Yep.
or the brown friend
Yep.
or the colored friend that they have, that they can say, it's no big deal. I have colored friends, I have black friends, and I say stuff like that all the time. They never say anything. Meanwhile, the black
I'm
friend
not
is
racist.
like,
I'm right.
this racist motherfucker just claimed me as a goddamn friend, and mother shit. Like,
I became the.
I didn't say it was okay. I just didn't want a problem.
no, I didn't say
And
anything
actually,
because I didn't want to die. Like, I didn't want to
Yeah.
get beat up or ostracized. Or I didn't want everybody to. I didn't want to make it weird. But
yeah,
you didn't care about making it weird for me specifically, and have no idea that you did make it weird because I couldn't say anything. Otherwise, I'd make it weird.
No.
But no, I'm not happy with that bullshit.
or they get mad at me.
What
Yeah,
else
or they get mad at me or blame me or whatever. But they also look for that react. Like you were saying earlier, like people think that you won't say anything, which I'm glad you do say something. But the new one they try now is that when you respond, they go, "Well, see, look how angry he is. He is completely gaslight you."
Angry black man. Angry. Yep.
Completely gaslight you and go, well, you're now that you're naturally reacting to something, they'll go, see, I told you this person is the I'm the victim and they're the abuser now.
Right.
And I never stand for that shit. I go, no, take the L. You piss me off, you get everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
And that's
You poke a bear.
this is an analogy I've given when people will say too, what's wrong with just saying XYZ racist comment is just words. I've got freedom of speech. I always go, sure, you do, but like, why do you get upset when people amplify that speech? Because you get think of it like
it was wrong.
That scene in Aladdin where Jafar wishes to be a genie at the very end, and he is cursed to the lamp. That's kind of like how I see it. You get freedom of speech and everything that comes with it, where he's like, I got all this power, phenomenal cosmic power, and then
itty bitty living space.
Yeah. You get all the freedom in the world to say all that horrible shit, sure, but do it and see the consequences. No one is stopping you from saying it.
At
you
all.
want to say it, go ahead.
At all. I'm cool with knowing who the racists are. I've never been cool with the idea that they're so comfortable with zero consequences, because I know, thanks to stories from my own personal anecdotes and stories from my family, I know how quickly those words turn into Emmett Till. I know how fast. I know that the line between this and that is like this thin. Like, you really think it's like this, and meanwhile it's really just a quick jump. It takes one person to throw something like or do something. And
the subway issues, you can yell at an Asian person or push them in front of a train, call them a name. But I'm saying, like, it just during that era, like, it's not just words. It turns directly into death.
Oh yeah, the rise of Asian hate crimes ever since Trump coined China
about
flu.
those old people that got shoved in front of trains.
The kung flu and all that nonsense that he was talking. Yeah, he's the
Wuhan virus.
If I was ever going to tip my hat, and listen, I'm not. See, here's the funny thing. I wasn't necessarily in disagreement with the idea of naming the virus after the place that it came from, because I don't really see that as something that's so
Derogatory
out of
is
the
more
out of the
bad,
ordinary.
right.
No, like, you know, almost every disease we have came from a certain
Named
person
after
or a
a
certain
person,
place.
or yeah.
Right. So I didn't really see the big deal in that until I realized who was saying it and why he was doing it. And now I have a huge problem because it's not as benign as when we said, you know, I'm trying to think of one. There's one in my head. Not Lou Gehrig's disease, not smallpox, but there's
Parkinson's probably named after someone.
Parkinson's is a person, but there's like a ton of things that came from a very specific place. And
Zika virus, I don't even know who Zika is, but
Spanish flu.
The Spanish flu. Okay, perfect.
For example.
Developed in a town, and okay, so we're fine. Like, no big deal. Like, I didn't even see the issue with it until
turns out it actually didn't start in Spain, though, which is that's the thing. Like, if you actually look up the history of it, not Spanish at all.
No, but they're a gang of them that were named after the place where they developed, where the bacteria developed, where the virus came out,
or where the reputation came from.
I mean,
incorrectly. What I'm saying though is that it's not accurate and it does hurt people.
No, I mean, see, again, we've gotten to a place now. Where when you mix one thing with the other thing, you get gunpowder, right? And the one thing that we have is a virus that came out of a very specific place in China. A virus that came out of a very specific place in China. And then we have a man in power who likes to weaponize things against non-white people. And when you put one thing and one thing, and even though this was benign over here by itself, the Wuhan virus, even though it came out of Wuhan, China, even though that by itself is benign, and not this by itself is not a
hate crime,
condemnation of people. This is a place on the map. This is a place
on the map,
right. Where this is a pin. This is a pin drop. But when you add it to a
contact tracing, like it's a spot.
Right. But when you add it to a racist, demagogue, fascist man in power with a lot of ears and a lot of people just all over him who's smart enough to weaponize his base against everything else, now we have a problem. Now it's an issue.
I got a quick question. Because we we've been discussing Karens and racism, and then it goes to racism against. We're on Fubu Radio, first of all. So, and Mecca is black. I'm
like a motherfucker.
Pro black as
like a motherfucker.
But discussing other races and other countries and other cultures and other reasons people hate things that people hate on. It's Pride Month. That's a big issue, and this abortion fucked up situation, the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So, like, how do you pick your battles? Because there's a lot of them.
That's a pretty common question, and it's one that's it's always evolving. Just because as the size of my account changes, as it goes up, it has a different effect. And if I'm picking a story about someone making a racial comment, as you said earlier, maybe they didn't understand it or they need to be educated. I will pass that off to someone who is better at educating and stuff like that, and who could help them understand, or somebody somebody who I know who would be very happy to explain it or teach it. But for me, it could become like a crushing a fly with a sledgehammer. Like it could just be too much. I started this when I had an account of 200,000 followers, and it was fine then. But it was only a couple months that I went from 200 to about 1 million. And that is a drastic change. And I don't think the average person knows how to handle an account with 1 million followers. And I think that the average person learns to as they grow gradually. And because I grew too quickly, I think it has been hard. The adjustment has been very difficult to navigate, because anything I post will pretty much go viral or end up in a news story. So there's this pressure of, like, when I just decide on something, is this, I don't have all the time in the world, and it's not guaranteed that I will necessarily find somebody, but this person needs to be held accountable. This looks difficult. This looks like it's a bigger deal. And I have the ability to find who they are. So I'll go ahead and do this one. One thing I don't consider when I pick it is if they may retaliate or something. I don't go by bullies' terms. I don't play by their rule. If they need to be held accountable, they will be held accountable. That's just how it is. So I normally gauge it through also what is like something we all agree on. If I'm too hard on my own perspective, then I look like, then it's not, then I'm not carrying out what I'm trying to carry out, which is to help marginalized people get accountability, but rather it becomes more of a, self-serving thing or something. Mm-hmm. So I try to avoid being political unless it's relevant. And when it's something with Roe versus Wade, well, to me, human rights aren't political. To me, the rights of BIPOC, the rights of LGBTQ, the rights of women, that is not a political issue. People might make it political, but it's just not a political issue. I will cover that. I will fight for that. And so when I put out the addresses of all the Supreme Court justices, I got a lot of different reactions, mixed reactions. A lot of people were like, "Great, wonderful. We'll know where to send a letter or send a coat hanger to." So they wanted to voice their protest. But then I had a lot of conservatives coming at me saying I put them in danger. They're calling the FBI, the CIA, whatever. But I would rather see if somebody disagrees with me or if someone thinks I'm doing something illegal, I would rather see them try to report me to an authority. Because if I'm doing something wrong, I should be held accountable too. It just, unfortunately, some people try to, threaten or harass, or I've had like the worst done to me. Like people will reach out and say, this person's stalking me, they're harassing me, they're doing this. I can relate because I've had all this stuff done to me as I've been doing all this work. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna
say like the Black Lives Matter women, the House, there was a whole big thing with that. Sean King didn't feel safe. Like when you do difficult work, it is dangerous on some level.
It is, but also there are people who want you to just stop. There are people who will want you to stop, and so they will say anything to get you to stop.
And that's their motivation. That's their real motivation. It's not deterring danger. It's the real motivation is they want you to knock it off.
They're right. They want you to threaten you out of.
And if I stop because somebody threatened me, if I stop because someone swatted me, then the next person who's fighting, in some shape or form, that they want to silence, they'll go, hey, you know what works? You know what worked on Donish? Let's do this again. I absolutely do not go by their terms. I will continue making my content. It's just going to continue to happen.
Quick question, because I'm sure a lot of people are curious. When you end up with big account and you spend most of your time doing this, and it sounds crazy, but is this your job now? Is it your living? Do you make money off of it? I'm curious because
can you support yourself doing this?
A lot of people get big accounts to sell flat tummy tea or whatever. I mean, whatever. To buy their Ferrari.
I'm not paid. I'm not paid by social media. I'm not paid by TikTok. I'm not paid by Instagram. I do have a Patreon where I get donations. I do not accept money to find people. So someone can't just send me money and be like, find this person for me. I don't do that because I don't want to put myself in an uncomfortable position if I can't find it or, didn't get the result they want or whatever. But people are always welcome to donate. And I've been lucky enough that has been able to be sustainable with the size of my account now. And people who, again, don't want me to do what I'm doing will try to use that as a like, oh, you're feeding yourself? Some activists.
I will never in my life.
You're supposed to be starving and homeless.
How they
to help poor people.
I don't understand that. Where did you guys, and I'm saying this to anybody who thinks that way, where did you guys start thinking that activists were supposed to be poor and destitute and should make no money whatsoever, even though
and could never have a good time or go on a vacation ever?
Dude, it costs not even a vacation.
You can't even go out.
I haven't had a vacation in years. I'm not even talking about a vacation. How about just the internet bill? Internet costs money. Electricity costs money. All of these things cost money. This guy has bills. Why is it such an affront to your sensibilities that someone who's actively trying to do the right thing on a day-to-day basis Why are you under this belief that they should be broke and poor, and the idea of them getting money just negates all the work they do? I don't get that. I don't get that.
It's another way of trying to, again, especially if that person is in a marginalized group. Why are you trying to make sure that they're not? I'm not like rolling. I'm not buying myself a new car. I don't have. I mean like sustainable. Like I'm paying rent and eating. Like I'm not saying like
and you
I've
have a
got
kid.
disposable income, but I've got kids. And when I do this work that I do, I'm taking time away from them. So if I'm taking time away from them,
It's got to
then
be worth
I
it.
want to be able to. I want to be able to make money as well, so that I could spend time with them as well, so that I could take time off as well. So I mean, I don't see an issue with that. But again, I don't charge for my services. I don't charge for it at all. I was doing it for free. I will do it for free if my Patreon somehow disappears or no one ever donates to me again. I will still do it. And I told my audience that too. I would still do it if you didn't give me a dime. But I appreciate it. But no, but honestly, I enjoy it, and I did it for a good like a year without making a single cent. That's not what motivates me. But
I
did want to ask that just because I'm sure a lot of people question. Yeah.
No, I said it really is the right thing to do. You are doing the right thing. You're doing a good thing. I don't understand why anybody would take time to critique or criticize that. I just don't get.
I think there's so many perspectives that can be questionable, like this side, that side. Like I kind of feel like hate speech and hate behavior, there's no place for hate, really. I mean, like hating hate, yes. But like being disappointed and angry over hate, yes. But when hate started it, can't we all agree that like putting down individuals, hurting them is bad?
Yeah,
I think it should be just universal.
I think that a lot of them are bad actors. I think a lot of the like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm above criticism by any means, but I do get a lot of trolls. And if I'm doing something like defending women's rights to abortion, then it's easy to assume that these profiles with no names on them coming after me are pro-life. They clearly don't like that story. And I could be doing a story about something else, and those same people who do not like me, they could be still criticizing, looking for, whenever I do a story, there's at least 5 or 6 fake accounts trying to point out flaws, which I don't care. But like the point of that is to try to stop me, to try to stop anything from happening because they disagree with me somewhere. And a lot of the people who disagree with me, you got your far right conservatives who don't believe there should be any accountability, or at least that they believe that it's just not my place to decide that. However, if I was a conservative, they would absolutely endorse everything that I was doing because they perceive Londini to be conservative, which I believe he is, and they love him. They're totally cool when he does it because he's conservative. So and the thing is Londini and I are friends. Well,
how does that happen? How does
I know all the larger creators. We all kind of know each other in some way, but especially those in the same niche, like we all have to communicate at some point. But Londini and I, he hit me up when there was this person with a fake profile sending these messages to a veteran with PTSD, telling him to off himself, basically. Wow. And so, yeah. And this guy, though, was a Trump supporter. He's got Trump on his arm, the victim, Trump on his arm, Trump hat, Trump whatever, and makes a video showing the comment. And I defended him. And I think that's what brought him over, was like, hey, it was really cool of you to do that, because he's big on veterans, Londini. And also that I was able to see past politics and go, this is wrong.
Right. You know what? Yeah. Past politics, past the work, because we only got a couple minutes left. What I'm very curious as to what revolutionaries like you do in their spare time. Like, what kind of music?
I was just gonna ask that. So how do you escape all this? What do you do for fun?
I need to know the music choice. Like, who's on the playlist?
Okay, music.
Okay. Well, as you've seen in a lot of my like videos, a lot of the music that I listen to is usually some sort of soundtrack music. Okay. I know it sounds weird. I like all kind of music in the way that people say that too, where it's like I know very little from each thing. I grew up around rap and hip hop because I grew up in LA, and pop, but I never enjoyed that as much as I've just enjoyed soundtrack music with no words at all. I that's what I listen to. I don't voluntarily put on music, and this is going to make me sound so weird and make me lose followers. I drove across country without ever listening to a single song. Like,
wow.
I know I'm not. I don't know much about music. I'm not very good at music. I'm not a good singer. I can play the guitar a little bit, but I'm just so dumb when it comes to music. I love people who are talented at music, whether they're singers, whether they're musicians. I absolutely adore it because it's something I cannot do. But like, I'm so far removed from music.
Okay, all right. Stop. Jesus Christ. Okay, all right.
We should edit that part of the. I'm just kidding.
No. This is the part where we get to help.
Dates go for me.
this.
Well, but
What kind of music you listen to? Oh, you're not gonna like this answer.
This is the part where we get to help him. He helped the racist come to the table and admit that he needed to do the work and do something different. We're gonna
send you a playlist each week.
Yeah, no,
sounds good.
Okay, listen. Viper Records, we're going to adopt you. Viper Records is going to adopt him.
Now you have a record label and you don't even.
Yeah, there's a whole label. I'm gonna send you some stuff over. Like, give me your address. I'll send you a hoodie. Like, I need to just. I can't have you out here being the
sorry. I'm
that you are. Oh God, this is painful.
This is people helping people. People helping people.
I appreciate it. I had one of my friends reach out to me and was like, I cannot believe that Snow the Product is commenting in all your comment sections. And I'm like, who the fuck is Snow the Product?
No, you did not.
We had her on the show.
Oh, now I'm friends with her. I'm friends with her now. We're talking now. But like, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is okay. This is good. I have never listened before.
We're adopting you. We're gonna unofficially sponsor you. Viper Records. We're gonna take you in. We're gonna get you out of the cold.
Come into the fold.
And from now on, if anybody asks you if you like music, to say, oh, you know these Viper Records guys. Like,
Viper Records, Snow the Product, they're my favorite.
Love there you go. And you can just be done right there. It's
right?
There we go. Done.
Next question.
Snow is great, by the way. I do love her music. She's wonderful.
No, she's amazing. She's one of she's one of the top lyricists out. And as a woman, like, if we're categorizing by like as a woman, she's like an apex predator in the field. And the fact that she digs you, we've interviewed her here because of those reasons. We didn't talk about anything political. We talked about music and her social life. The fact that she digs you counts for so much, but like that
for both of you.
Dude,
what makes that story funny is how dumb I am. I hope we understand. Like, I'm not trying to diss on.
I'm not taking it like that.
I should know who she is as a point.
Just to make you feel less bad, we have an ongoing joke that my intro to hip hop was Nelly. So there's that.
Nelly? Okay.
Because I was raised in India.
At least I can. Okay. At least I'm not like country.
No, but I'm saying there was.
Is that what you?
Yeah.
Really?
Back up to Indiana. But listen, they said our name back up to Indiana. Shut up. I'm just kidding. But we're about to say names, and I was Indiana.
Heard, like, Dr. Dre, like you heard the Chronic album, like why?
Okay, I know music now. I was raised around country, folk, and top 40 pop in Richmond, Indiana. Like, the only Tupac I knew was Greatest Hits album because I found it. Like, it was just not the environment. And now I got better.
No, hold on. Stop. Crystal, stop. He went cross country and never listened to one song. Like, we can't. His music doesn't have words in it. Like, I'm not sure he's the one to
I do love
you
soundtrack music though.
For the fact that you came in with Nelly. Like, I'm not sure he can actually do that.
Yeah,
that was a nice
gesture about music.
Yo, Mecca's face right now is epic. We actually do have to get off of here. I want to do the one more thing though. Like, what do you do for fun outside of this? I mean, this is fun for you. You draw.
I draw. I paint. I draw all the time. I draw so much. I have a wood shop in my house that is just wall to wall, just my drawings. I love to draw.
When's the last
So-
time you did an album cover?
I've never done that. I've never sold. I did sell one, but only because someone was asking me. I don't do it to sell. I don't do it I do it for like, it's more like therapy. I started doing it ever since my dad passed away, and every day since then I just draw something and it just makes me feel good. So that it's just I've never the only person I really draw for is like my kid. My kid will be like, draw this character, and then they get a new poster to put in their room or something.
I instantly have an idea. I'm going to talk to you about it after we get out of here. In the meantime, in between time, this has been excellent. Can you please tell people where to find you? Because I'd like for more people to be as thoroughly entertained as I am by the work you do.
Yep, on every single platform, I am that Donish guy. Donish is DANESH. Maybe it's already here. Never mind. That Donish guy on TikTok. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Reddit. But I'm banned. Instagram, there you go. Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter as well. Right now, my account's down, but it'll be right back up.
You said you're banned on Reddit?
They banned me without me ever posting a single thing. People were tagging me to identify people on Reddit, and the mods immediately blocked me so I wouldn't.
That's super corny. Okay,
isn't that weird? I didn't post a single thing.
That's amazingly corny. That's amazingly corny. But Reddit is very
censorship at its
yeah. No, they tend to be very corny. They're very. You have to be kind at all under all circumstances. You need to be kind. It doesn't matter who they want you to be kind to. But never mind that. You just have to be kind. I've told dumb people doing dumb things that was a dumb thing to do, and somehow I need to be kind. Like I don't. Anyway, bro, thank you so much for pulling up again. We're adopting you here at this record label. Like we're gonna take you in completely. I can't have you out here like this. We got to get your musical taste just someplace else.
Thank you.
In the meantime, in between time, I'm your man, Mr. Mech.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This has been the M+M+M show, aka the show. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Do us all a favor. Go get laid. Peace.
Woo, woo. My dog.
No. Stop. Where is it?